Marshmallow Fanboy back with another review. This time a Marvel Legends Series Spider-Man from the movie Spider-Man 3 in the black symbiote costume, and Spider-Man 2's Peter Parker in the black suit. The figures, I figured, they're both in the black suit, and they're pretty cool, so I would open them together. Plus, the point of difference, of course, the Spider-Man 3 has the intricate webbing that the first two Spider-Man movies had. That's very cool, but I don't know if you can see, but there is a texture on top of the costume, kind of a sort of a Marvel Cinematic Universe kind of overlay, where there's some kind of piping and sort of scaling. Looks really, really cool. And of course, the backs of the hands aren't the squares like they are in the comic books. They're little sort of chevrons, and you can see that there's Peter Parker black suit. Of course, Spider-Man 2 is the Gamerverse version of Spider-Man. So I think the Spider-Man 2 features Miles Morales, but this wave had a lot of different Spider-Men, and they were based on sort of the different skins that you could play as. For example, the anti-venom style suit, the black suit, the upgraded suit style, the Boricua suit, the Brooklyn 2099 suit. Very cool. And of course, Black Cat. Black Cat made an appearance in one of the Gamerverse titles, City at War, I think. So I'm familiar with her from City at War, but that's about it as far as exposure to the video games goes. I've almost no exposure to the game. Spider-Man 3, I get that it's one of the more hated sort of versions of Spider-Man. I know the movie was not well liked, and I'm going to say that I only saw it once, and the fact that I only saw it once means I defend it a little bit, and I go, well, Peter was always picked on and harassed, so the first time he got power, he let a crime slide by, because he was like, yeah, it's not my problem. He's got kind of a sort of as soon as he gets a little power, he kind of lets it go to his head mentality. And the events of the movie, of course, he's very popular, and all of a sudden, he's gone from this hated person to this loved person, and he just doesn't know how to handle it. And the black suit amplifies all of that. And I can't say that the rest of the movie was any good, but I do understand that this is that Peter Parker is essentially, he makes the right choices most of the time, but this is a version of him who sort of lets, every version of Peter is a version of Peter that lets the power go to his head and decides not to stop the burglar. And in this universe, he just takes it to kind of another level of irresponsibility, and sort of turns his back on sort of the decent person that he is in order to sort of indulge his darker side and enjoying his newfound power and his newfound notoriety. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to say that it was a good movie. I'm just going to say that I get it, parts of it. I don't like the choices they made, but I'm okay with it in theory. It's been so long since I've seen it that I think it's forgivable. I don't know. And of course it helps that he was in the third Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland, and that went a long way toward me sort of missing that version of the character. So these are both Spider-Men in their black suit, and they look really cool in their package. Let's take them out and see what we think of them in person. Now that they're out of the package, let's take a closer look at Gamerverse Spider-Man from Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man from Spider-Man 3. Let's start with Spider-Man from Spider-Man 3. course, he has the web pattern of the red and blue one. Of course, these lines that were black originally are now sort of a silverish. Kind of blends in, doesn't stand out too much, but it does a good job of sort of bringing the movie aesthetic to life with the lines. And it looks great. I put the regular head on, the Spider-Man head on, but of course he came with the emo Peter Parker head, the angry Peter Parker head, and of course the symbiote itself, which you could use to kind of flex around him, drop down on his head like a crown. Maybe. I'm not sure what else you could do with it. This could go around the neck, so you could put it on right like that, right through the thing, and then boom, he's got a symbiote all around him, just like in Venom, which was before or was after this movie. So the web line, of course, has the handle, but it breaks off into all these crazy sort of formations. It has these two ends, which I thought naively, maybe this one plugs into this one, it makes a loop, and then you can loop it around something, and that'd be cool. It's the only thing the web lines are missing is some way to sort of put them on something substantial. But because it does have a hook, you could sort of hook it from something and have it dangle, but otherwise it's very, very gummy, very insubstantial. So in addition to the web shooting hands, he has two fists for punching. Of course, he has one sort of hand splayed all the way out, and one with the fingers sort of curved in a little bit, kind of a wall crawling, crouch pose sort of effect for him. Of course, it's got all the articulation you would expect, including butterfly joints. He's got a mid-torso rocker. He's got the crunch. The head gets a ton of motion on this one. And of course, it's got all the other articulation that you would expect from Marvel Legends series. It's a very cool figure. However you feel about Spider-Man 3, the costume was cool. And if you saw it, you were most looking forward to the costume. Now, we have Venom and we have other things. But back then, we only had this. So it's a very cool figure. And that is Spider-Man from Spider-Man 3. As far as Gamerverse Spider-Man goes, I left him with the fists in. But he does come with two kind of posing, wall-crawling hands and two web shooting hands that you can change out. As far as the textures on this figure, the reason I got it wasn't because, he's really cool, although he is. The dark black and the bright white are just really cool way. Look at all that motion in his head. Gets all that motion just like the other Spider-Man does. Very cool. Yeah, very cool. But you can see he's got all this texture on his arms and legs. You can see the texture here on the thigh and the lines. It's like it's a Marvel Cinematic Universe black suit. It looks like it was designed by Andy Parker, one of the folks at Marvel who do that. It's just got a really cool sort of effect. It's kind of got a padded armor sort of look to it. It's really, really cool. I do like the chevrons coming down instead of the squares. And of course, this is from a video game, so any redesign they do is sort of not in continuity. So it's fine that they do it and then make a completely different version. I don't have to buy a Gamerverse version of anything. I did it because of the textures and because of that very dark black, the bright white. I still think it's just super cool. So that is the Gamerverse Spider-Man and Spider-Man from Spider-Man 3. I think Spider-Man from Spider-Man 3 was sold out on Hasbro Pulse. I don't know if you can get him other places like Big Bad Toy Store, but get him. And as far as Gamerverse Spider-Man goes, I have seen him outside of the comic book store. I've seen him at retail. So he's out there. I think, was he, or was that a GameStop? Either way, he's out there somewhere. So if you can grab these guys, grab them. Black suit Spider-Mans are always popular, and these two are a little different. One, because it appeared in a movie, and two, because of all the texture on it. So until next time, enjoy your toys.